another episode of In a Phase. It is your host and coach extraordinaire, Barry, and I have to be super honest with you. I am recording this podcast, but also live streaming at the same time on YouTube, and I have so many mixed feelings about it. But nonetheless, today we are going to talk about something that needs to be addressed. A lot of people say that the secret to your success lies within your daily routine. However, I deeply believe that the secret to your success actually lies within who and what you know, and then you pair it with your daily routine. Well, why would you say something like that? The number one reason why I say this is because so often when I'm working with clients, they have these very extravagant routines, and we strip it all the way down because what they're doing before they see me as their coach, right, is they're taking a little bit of information from this person and a little bit of information from that person and trying to carve out a path that is very clear. And instead of it actually being clear, it's extremely chaotic and cloudy. So I believe that the secret to your success really lies within who and what you know paired with what you do. If it was as simple as, oh, the more energy and effort you have and you put towards things, you're going to get more results. If it was as simple as that, then we would all be millionaires because I guarantee you there are people who are hustling every single day to be millionaires. If that was the case, then all the people who set health goals at the beginning of the year actually would have accomplished them by now, right? So, with that being said, there are four things that I find really help really kind of reaffirm my view, right? So the first component is a balanced routine and strategic knowledge. A consistent daily routine is really a strong foundation, right? And we love a strong foundation around here. You guys know I'm always preaching about the core four, which is proper hydration, remineralization and supplementation, nutrition optimization, and nervous system regulation. But true success often requires adapting to new insights and knowledge. Routines provide us this level of stability that is definitely essential, while learning and applying new strategies are really what leads to growth and innovation. Success is lying within combining both a solid routine that also leaves a lot of room for continual growth and development. Case in point, at the start of my own personal health and wellness journey, I was really hyperfixated on cycle syncing because I did not believe that you could have a period and a life, an enjoyable one at that. So my my nature is like, if you can do it, I can do it. But also let me see if this is real. That's who I am as a person, right? So I was like, I'm gonna try this woman's methodology. Lo and behold, I was loyal to the methodology for 30 days and had my first pain free period. And I've had a pain free period ever since. Well, why is that relevant to you? How does that even make sense, right? One, I had a routine that was structured off of my cycle, but number two, I had knowledge to actually back that. While I personally did not know this woman who created cycle syncing, thank you God for Elisa Vidu, right? While I didn't personally know her, I knew her work, and her work, right? That knowledge is what put me on the right path. Well, since, discovering her work back in 2019, I have evolved and grown not only as an individual, but also as a professional. So now when I talk about cycle syncing, yes, I always give credit where credit is due. However, I don't even focus on that anymore because I have my own methodology that I like to call the Fab Four, right? The Fab Four is really a stress free approach to living a cycle centric and fertility forward lifestyle. This same thing has helped so many of my clients shorten their period within 3 cycles. This same approach has helped women literally regulate their hormones while doing things that are a little bit unusual. And it's because of who and what they know. Their routines were okay, but once we strip their routines down and actually focus them, and they received the proper information from someone they actually trusted and vetted, they were able to get the results that they actually desired. So, just to reiterate, right, our first point is the fact that A balanced routine and strategic knowledge is what's going to help you achieve success, especially on your health and wellness journey. The second is the power of networking and relationships. Honestly, when it comes to being successful, it's rarely a solo journey. And having the right connections and a supportive network that really opens doors that routines alone cannot is where it is at. And I think when you are able to surround yourself with mentors and collaborators and coaches and people who share insights that can actually accelerate your progress and lead to unexpected opportunities, that's where the magic happens. For a long time, I was the kind of person who never felt like people who were coaches necessarily needed coaches. I think one of the main reasons I thought that is because, to be very transparent with you, I had coaches for sports when I was in like college and in high school, but outside of that, like I've always just kind of, bless me, excuse me as well. But when I started my entrepreneurial journey, I never worked with like a traditional business coach. I got my certifications. I learned how to be a very effective influencer and a very effective practitioner. However, I never really learned how or the art of coaching, right? And often, like for me, I'm a big educator and I tell people through and through, like, that's my strength is teaching. However, people want transformation, not just information, but actual transformation. So over the last 2 years, I've had to work with mentors that really helped me elevate my coaching, right? Now, had I done this years ago, like 5, 6 years ago, when I started in entrepreneurship, I would be so much further along. However, because I was resistant, because I was like, I'll just take the free information, which a lot of people do. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it's not just the information that you need to know in the routine. You also need to network. When I began to collaborate with people, I began to learn a lot about how to actually, have a business that's on autopilot, quote unquote. There's a lot of nuance to that. But when we're thinking about it from this health lens, the reason you want to be working with a health coach is because at the end of the day, the shortest point between the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. If you are on your health and wellness journey right now, and tell me if this is you, you want to lose weight, you want to clarify your skin, and you want to have a PMS free period, let me ask you, where would you start? A lot of people don't know where they would start. And that's where somebody like me, as a women's health coach and a fertility awareness educator, comes in. We tell you exactly where your starting point should be based off of where your priorities are or what your priorities are and what your goals are. That is networking, that is collaborating, that is relationship building. And there is no shame in that. Like for me, I literally swear that there are people, I listen to their podcast every single day and I'm like, that's my coach. That is literally my coach because I'm only getting the information from one place. And I'll also go ahead and invest in them, right? I think that are if you're okay believing that the secret to your success lies in your daily routine and that's simply going to be how you get to the top or achieve your goal, like that's fine. However, if you're actually ready to take the action, right? I want you to switch up your routine. I want you to have the balanced routine and pair it with that strategic knowledge. In addition to that, I want you to expand your network and really delve in deeper into relationships. The third thing I would definitely like recommend you do is leverage expertise and information. Who you know influences what you know. Being connected to experts or well-informed individuals brings valuable knowledge and new perspectives that can shape your decisions and really refine your personal approach. Success stems from blending personal drive with external expertise. And I really want to just sit with you and talk about this a little bit because I think that a lot of people will see people on the internet who have large followings and think that that person's an expert. Um, that's not how an expert comes about. And I say that with love, no shade, no tea, but somebody needs to say it, right? When we talk about leveraging expertise, what we're actually talking about is understanding knowledge on a deep level. So for me, when I started on my health journey, the only thing I knew how to do was cycle sync. But I decided to expand my knowledge base. I decided to become an integrative health practitioner. I decided to become a fertility awareness educator. Having this expansion, right, to go deeper and stay on the narrow path and really understanding women's health and fertility is what's allowed me to achieve my goals. It's what's allowed me to be able to have clients and to sit here and just be able to speak with you about how to achieve your goals, right? Because instead of just having this very broad knowledge base, I have a very narrow scope and a narrow path that is focused. And it's so focused that I could do things that other people really aren't talking about. Often in the hormonal health space, you will hear people say, you need to give up gluten and dairy and refined sugars and all of these things in order to balance your hormones. I actually teach people, I don't want to say the opposite. I teach them you can add rather than subtract when it comes to your health and wellness routine. You can eat better and not less. You don't have to give up the things that you actually enjoy in order to achieve your goals. And people are often like, how do you conclude this? Like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, well, let's look at the organs. Your organs are often what's actually producing your hormones. So, for instance, let's talk about cortisol really quick, right? A lot of people are like, oh, I'm running around and I have cortisol face and I need to lower my cortisol. Well, what creates cortisol? Yes, it's an environmental thing, right? But in addition to that, what is actually secreting cortisol is your adrenals. So, if we can actually support your adrenals in their functionality and regulate the production of cortisol, we can lower your cortisol without you having to. I mean, I don't know what they're doing. There's a lot of animal based diet things, and I'm like, aren't we like, never mind. We're not even, I'm going to stay on the track. We're going to stay on the narrow track, but you get what I'm saying, right? If you understand how the body actually works, you can actually get the results a different way. Because my expertise is in understanding how the body works in relation to reproductive hormones, and specifically how this can actually help you achieve a PMS free, predictable, peaceful period, I can also help you actually have the right routine. That's what I mean when we're talking about leveraging expertise, leveraging knowledge. I'm not just saying, like, oh, just know this one piece of information. Listen, it's not about how many tools are in the tool belt. It's about what you could do with the one tool that you do have. And if you're really good with one tool, that means there's some depth that a lot of people are looking for, right? Now, the fourth and final point is honestly, it's just coming back to the fact that your routine is a platform, not a ceiling. One of my friends, when I used to live in Florida, she would always say that routines are tools, not chains. And that's because, on her journey, she shares that she's just like, I mean, she's a peaceful productivity coach. Shout out to Jess Massey, right? But she would always say that routines are tools, not chains. And I think it's important that we realize that because your daily routines establish your habits, but they shouldn't become limitations. Routines serve as a platform, and the people you know or the knowledge you gain allow you to break through new levels. Success is more dynamic when it's not restricted to a routine alone, but includes inputs from broader networks and insights. So let's honestly just kind of peel that back, right? Let's undo that a little bit. What does that mean? What it means is you don't want your routine to bind you, because what worked for your life before you had kids may not work for your life when you have kids. And y'all, can I tell on myself? So, 2 years ago, before I met my amazing fiance, all I focused on was me, myself, and I, and like what my needs are. My fiance and I, when we started dating, he had two little ones from his previous marriage. I did not understand why or the necessity of needing to put them first the way that I do now. Not to mention, obviously, I'm pregnant now. So, with that being said, life looks a little bit different than what it did before. There was a season of my life where I was just waking up 10 or 15 minutes earlier than the kids, having a cup of coffee, and then getting right into the morning routine because, like, there was just a lot of shuffling that needed to happen, and I did not know what to do. Whereas now, for the last, I think it's 158 days now, you're probably like, why are you so specific? Because I've been recording it in my prayer journal every morning. But for the last 158 days or so, I've been getting up between 4:30 a.m. and 5 a.m. I've been doing my prayer and devotion time, my personal development time before the entire house wakes up. So before Grant gets out of bed, and if we have the kids, before the kids wake up. So why do I do that? Because I'm in a season of my life right now where I know a lot's going to be required of me and I just need to rise to the occasion. Well, the routine of waking up 15 minutes earlier than the kids, that was no longer serving me. It just wasn't. The routine of thinking I could wake up 15 minutes before them and have uninterrupted journaling time, yeah, no, girl, that was not a thing. Whereas now, right, I'm in a different season of my life. My body's a lot different. My life's different. My business is different. Everything is different. I'm now in a season of my life where my routine has to actually support where it is I'm going. And, I was recently on a podcast and I was like, at the end of the day, you are the center of your world. And I don't say that from this selfish space, but at the end of the day, whether you are a single young lady or you are someone a little bit more mature and settled in your family, you are the center of your world. You are the center of your family, of your business, and how you show up is going to be really directly associated with who and what you know and fortified by the proper routines. With that being said, I feel like we've talked about a lot, but I just kind of want to recap it for you so that you're feeling really empowered. First and foremost, understand that a balanced routine and strategic knowledge go hand in hand. They are besties. Second, the power of networking and relationships is something you definitely want to invest in. And if you are looking for an opportunity to do that, then you also want to be leveraging expertise and information, which you can find inside of Period School, which is my monthly membership program. If you've never heard of it, just go ahead and look down in the description bar, head to the show notes. I would love to support you on your wellness journey. But the last thing is to utilize your routine as a platform and not a limitation, not a ceiling. Now, with that being said, I want to remind you it's not about doing all the things, it's about doing the right things. And how do you know if you're doing the right things? It's based off of who and what you know. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. And if you did, make sure you leave a rating, a review, a comment. And as always, love you, mean it.